Hey guys, I'm Midnight Siren, and today, in honor of the release of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, I'm going to be covering the entire timeline in order of date. Now, I know game theorists did this, but I wanted to do my own version, especially now since this new game has filled out / confirmed some of the blanks, as well as creating some new ones of its own. Some of the dates / occurrences are more theoretical than actually confirmed, so bear with me that they might not be exact, as well as some of the dates are not my own. So our story starts in 1973, which is calculated by Phone Guy saying,
"If I were forced to sing those same stupid songs for 20 years and I never got a bath, I'd probably be a bit irritable at night too."
In which the stated 20 years was subtracted from the theorized date of Five Nights at Freddy's 1. This date also lines up with the real-life date of the introduction of animatronic attractions, so it is a very plausible guesstimation. However, you can still give or take a few years. This was the year that Fredbear's Family Diner opened. The star animatronic was Fredbear, or as we know him, Golden Freddy. His co-star was another golden animatronic, or rather, Springtrap, the antagonist of Five Nights at Freddy's 3 and the golden version of Bonnie. This is revealed by the Golden Freddy minigame in Five Nights 3, in which Golden Freddy is on stage with Springtrap and children are cheering below. During the restaurant's run, a child was standing outside when a man pulled up in a car and murdered him. The child's spirit sought out the marionette, possessing it and beginning his plot for revenge. Proven by the Take Cake to the Children minigame in Five Nights 2. The child's murder caused controversy for the place of business, causing them to shut down and sell their brand to Fazbear Entertainment.
We're going to try to contact the original restaurant owner. I think the name of the place was Fredbear's Family Diner or something like that. It was closed for years, though. I doubt we'll be able to track anybody down.
Sometime between 1973 and 1987, Fazbear Entertainment opened the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. They retired Fredbear and Springtrap either because of their faulty design or because of their association with the former murder. However, they modeled 2 of their 4 starring animatronics after them. They would become the first Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. Everything was going well until the Purple Man returned. He lured 5 children into a back room, possibly the safe room that's constantly mentioned in the Five Nights 3 phone calls.
Some guy who helped design one of the buildings says it was like an extra room that got boarded up, or something like that.
This may be the reason why they had to board them up. He did this by using either the Golden Freddy costume or the Springtrap costume. We only know that it was gold in color.
Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it.
Though until the introduction of Springtrap, it was always believed to be Golden Freddy. However, there may be an explanation as to why it was not his costume used. The children were murdered and their bodies were stuffed into each of the 4 animatronics, as well as a 5th put inside of Golden Freddy. The marionette, who had been possessed by the first murder child, forced or helped the souls of the other children to possess the respective animatronics, causing their apparent haunting. This is proven by the Give Gifts, Give Life minigame from Five Nights 2. However, parents began to complain about the costumes dripping mucus and blood and smelling like a corpse. The company investigated this, disposing of the children's bodies so that they wouldn't get a rep like Fredbear's. 1987 was the year that the second Freddy Fazbear's opened. This is the location of Five Nights 2. The company introduced a whole new stock of toy versions of the original animatronics. Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, and Mangle, the badly dismantled version of Foxy, along with Balloon Boy, a new addition to the Fazbear family. The original versions were stripped for parts and tossed in the back room. Unfortunately, the company was only open for 2 weeks before misfortune struck once more when a familiar face appeared at the restaurant. the Purple Man, of who I am officially making a video on soon. Anyway, the Purple Man once again donned a golden suit. For the sake of the theory, I'm going to assume was Springtrap. He tricked 5 more children to their death. Once again, the new spirits take control of the toy animatronics. This is proved by both the phone call on night 4 and on night 6.
Just as a side note, though, try to avoid eye contact with any of the animatronics side if you can. Someone may have tampered with their facial recognition systems. We're not sure. But the characters have been acting very unusual, almost aggressive toward the staff. They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right. Listen, just finish your shift. It's safer than trying to leave in the middle of the night.
And once again, Fazbear Entertainment covers up their involvement in the murders.
There's been somewhat of an investigation going on. We may end up having to close for a few days. I don't know. I want to emphasize, though, that it's really just a precaution. Fazbear Entertainment denies any wrongdoing. These things happen sometimes. It'll all get sorted out in a few days.
They may have gotten away with the disappearances of the children, if not for the bite of 87. The last day the business was going to be opened, Freddy Fazbear's was holding a birthday party, during which Mangle, as a theory, but who I believe truly did, lashed out at either Jeremy or one of the children, biting down on their head and completely destroying their frontal lobe. This happened in full view of the partygoers, and for once, Fazbear Entertainment could not cover the crime and they were forced to shut down, scrapping the toy animatronics but keeping the old ones in hopes that they would one day reopen. That day came sometime years later. The date of this is not completely certain, however, it is this restaurant that Five Nights 1 takes place. The time period of Five Nights 1 is commonly believed to be in 1993 due to a comparison between it and a real-life event, as well as the wage that Mike receives at the end of the game. Still, that wage could have been achieved between 1991 to 1996, fitting the 1993 theory. This is the date I believe it to be in, and the date most of the community has accepted, and for the sake of math, I will officially say that 1993 is the date that Five Nights 1 took place in. It's not known how long this restaurant was open before the game, nor how long it was open after. What we do know is that during some time in that year, the character phone guy was killed by the animatronics, and a week later, Mike Schmidt worked as a night guard for 6 days before being fired. Sometime after that, however, something happened. The Purple Man returned. Somehow he tricked the animatronics one by one away from their posts and dismantled them, similar to how he killed the children previously. Perhaps so they would not attack him anymore? This is backed up by the Night 1 through Night 5 minigames in Five Nights 3. However, by doing this, he set the souls of the children free from their imprisonments. The spirits scared him, causing him to panic and jump into the Springtrap costume, in hopes that they would not get him. There, however, those old costumes are dangerous.
In the case that the spring locks come loose while you are wearing a suit, please try to maneuver away from populated areas before bleeding out. That does not ruin the customer experience. There's been a slight change of company policy concerning use of the suit. Don't. After learning of an unfortunate incident at the sister location involving multiple and simultaneous spring lock failures, the company has deemed the suit temporarily unfit for employees. Safety is top priority at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which is why the classic suits are being retired to an appropriate location while being looked at by our technicians.
And it slowly killed him, allowing the spirits of the children who were now at peace due to their murderous death to finally rest. However, the dark spirit of the Purple Man possessed the Springtrap suit that he had been locked in. Sometime in 2023, 30 years after the last Freddy Fazbear's closed down, Fazbear Fright, a haunted attraction based on the vintage restaurants, decided to open its doors. This is where Five Nights 3 begins. They scavenged old remnants or mementos from the old locations, possibly even using one of the first Freddy Fazbear buildings, considering that we don't know what the first place looked like. During their search, upon prying open a blocked-off room, they found the old golden bodysuit from Fredbear's. Upon being placed inside the attraction, it showed signs of its own haunting. Sometime not long after the last night of the game, however, the place burns down. Whether it be from an electrical problem or foul play, it is uncertain. The Freddy Fazbear's mementos that managed to survive the fire were auctioned off. However, it is not detailed as to what remained, leaving the question, did Springtrap survive? The timeline ends here. It's uncertain that this is really the end of the series, but if it is, this will be the finality of the timeline. While writing this, I began to make a few revelations myself. I'm planning on doing a whole video over the Purple Man, and once I do that, I might do a redux of my Bite of 87 video, considering that I feel like I have realized a few things about the cause of the bite. So keep an eye out for both of those upcoming videos. But for now, like and comment, subscribe for more theories and creepypasta readings. I'm Midnight Siren, and I will see you next time.